Okay, I'll let everybody in.
All right, thank you.
Hmm. Somebody new.
Okay. Hello. Okay. Awesome. We are set to go. Hi, everyone. It's Julie from Ocean Rehab and Fitness. Nice to see you today. We need one piece of equipment mainly today, and then one optional piece as well. So we're just going to be using one hand weight later on. So if you have something that either is a hand weight or you can use as a weight like a water bottle or soup can or something like that, that is great for a bit of resistance. We do like 8 to 10 reps of different exercises. So we don't need to go too heavy in order to make that feel like work for our muscles. So just have that handy for later. I am going to be giving you an option of doing a few things with a small pillow later. If you don't have a pillow, but maybe you have a sweater beside you that you can roll up, or a blanket, or a towel, something like that. Just something small that for a while will be something that we place on our lap to help support us. And then we'll be doing a little bit of optional leg work with that as well later. So that's our one needed and one optional piece of equipment. And then other than that, we always have water handy. So if you have a water bottle or something, take a drink whenever you need it. And I'll give you a few water break cues as well. Okay, we are starting with our back on the chair back, comfortable seat. So maybe I'll take a minute to kind of wiggle yourself into a nice even seat side to side as well. And then from here, I think we're just going to do some nice even breaths in and out. We'll do a little bit of a body check-in as well. So take your eyes to closed if you're comfortable with that for a moment. And then just start thinking about nice even inhale, exhale, nothing else needed for the first few. So nice even inhale, exhale. And then maybe you notice a little bit about what that makes, how you feel when you take those even inhale, exhales. So maybe you feel like you're a little bit taller in your chair, you're giving yourself a little bit of extra room to breathe. And then from there, you can do a little bit of a body scan while you're here as well. So I like to have you just kind of check in with yourself and see how you feel today, whether that's from an energy level perspective, or whether maybe you've been struggling with some sore muscles or joints that you need to pay more attention to as you exercise today. So make sure you're kind of making note of that. You might make some modifications in class if you have a sore joint, like maybe not using the weight and just using range of motion when we get to that part of class. So give me about 3 more nice even breaths in and out, and then we'll get moving a little bit more. Okay, we're gonna keep with the even breaths in and out, but now we're gonna start to shrug our shoulders gently up on a breath in and then firmly down on a breath out. So just that little change in movement, still nice and tall. And of course, we would rather have our shoulders set low than creeping up by our ears. So we're kind of getting into that habit of the set position. Last one. Good. And then we're going to do the same thing with a bit of a forward shoulder roll, which is really not our ideal set location either for our shoulders, but we're going to take a breath in as our shoulders come slightly forward, then a breath out as we really open up through our chest. A breath in to roll slightly forward, breath out to extend, get a little stretch through that chest, and just a feeling of opening through the front of your upper torso. Last one here. Good. And then from there, we'll do a few shoulder checks. So you can look one way, back through center and the other. And I should say now our shoulders are in just more or less a comfortably set position. So both back and down slightly in whatever is your comfortable set there. Last one each way. Good. We're going to do a little bit of eye work as well as warming up through our neck here too. So you're going to look diagonally up towards the ceiling with just your eyes, not your head, to start with. Back through center and then the other direction. So try to keep, it's hard, try to keep your head still and just make it be your eyes looking diagonally up, back through center, diagonally up, back through center. And then you're going to do the same thing diagonally down. So you're going to look down kind of past your hip on one side and on the other. Good. All right. And then let's use our head as well. So we're going to sweep to look diagonally up, come back through center, look diagonally up the other direction and back through center. Just one more each way like that. Good. And as we look down, we have two options depending on how it feels for your neck. So you'll look down towards one hip. You can either come back through center or just sweep around to look to the other side. So you can just kind of chin a little bit towards chest, sweep between side to side, or come back through center each time if you find that that's more comfortable for you. Last one each way. Awesome. All right, come on back through center. Pick a side, doesn't matter which one, and give me an open palm and then a fist. Last two and one, and then we're going to start to rotate through our wrist and the other direction. And then we're going to start to rotate through our elbow. Our elbows don't, exactly rotate, but it's a movement that is close to rotation. Good. Go back the other way if you haven't already changed direction. And then we're going to move through our shoulder. So that'll be to the back to start with and our rear shoulder circles. I believe that was just last time we did our swim strokes for our intervals. So this is like our back crawl. Last two and one, and then a few scoops to the front as well. Last two and one. Good. Let's pick that other side and do the same thing. So we did that open palm, closed fist. We'll be using some weights later. So getting our hands ready to do some gripping. Last two and one. And then into those wrist circles, one direction and back the other. And then into some elbow circles. And back the other way there too. And then into some shoulder circles, starting as small as you need to have those shoulders be comfortable in the movement. Two more there. And one, and then small scoops forward as well. For three, two, and one. Let's go back to side number one and do just a little more work there. So take your hand out wide. We're going to go cross body for a shoulder tap. This can be a bit of a bigger and quicker move too if your shoulders are feeling like they're getting warm. So we're getting the heart rate up just a little bit and the blood pumping. Last one there. Same side's going to push for the ceiling with open hand. And then we're going to go straight into up and over Reach, maybe, or even side flexing just slightly. So getting those oblique muscles ready to work as well to help stabilize us. 2 more. And 1. Awesome. Let's go to the other side and do those same things there. So we went wide down by our hip, cross body to touch the opposite shoulder. Good. Last 2. And 1. Good. And then from there, we went open palm to press forward with that arm open off to the side. So elbow off to the side. And then we went into our up and overhead reach with an option of a side flex. Good. Last 2. And 1. Awesome. We're almost done with our seated warm up. I'm going to do a little bit of forward hinging next. So both hands can be on lap to start with. If hinging is available to you, we're keeping the core muscles engaged as we come forward. If you are staying at your chair back, you're engaging your core muscles by pressing belly button to backbone instead of our hinge. So those are both options for you. Good. Let's just do 1 more, maybe to hang out here just for a moment. So check in on form, nice and long through your spine. And then you might do a few forward reaches while you're here. So keeping that long spine, alternating sides or staying on the same side for a few if that's easier to stabilize that way. Good. Last 1 each way. Awesome. Come up tall. Last thing in our warm up is going to be just a little bit of rotation. So both hands on same side lap, maybe slightly away from your chair back if that's available for you to rotate side through center. We'll just have a few optional rotational things happening throughout class today. So rotation is always an option. If it's not feeling like something you should be doing today, maybe it feels uncomfortable or creates pain in your back, then we'll stay forward facing instead. If you would like to take 1 arm up to do a little bit of a longer reach, you can go ahead and do that as well. So just finishing with opening through the chest. Let's just do 1 more. Awesome. Come on back through center, both hands to guide to start with as you come to that other side to do your rotation. And then maybe adding in that arm at about shoulder height or slightly less to rotate and reach off to the side. Let's do 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Come on back through center. I'm going to grab a quick drink of water and we are going to start some cardio. Go ahead and get a drink if you need one. Okay, this is a class that you've seen before for sure. We're gonna alternate between some larger and smaller moves, or maybe closer and more reaching moves depending on the direction that we're going. And we're gonna kind of just play around with speed and tempo when it comes to that. So I don't have a timer set today. We're just gonna continue to go between different exercises. And at the moment, I don't plan on counting it out either. We're just gonna go until we're done. So we're doing our close arm swing, our sprinter arms to start with. And before we pick up the pace, speed-wise, we're gonna check in posturally and just make sure that everything is set optimally. So hopefully nice and even on your seat. If you need to make some adjustments there, go ahead. So even weighting side to side through your hips. Long through your spine, and for now, strong through your core to keep your shoulders facing forward. So we're not going to rotate through this movement for now. Shoulders are set back and down. Doesn't have to be a big squeeze of any muscle group to get there. Just make sure that those shoulders don't start to creep up by your ears. All right, so if this is our close arm movement, our longer arm movement is just the big swing of our arms. Still, shoulders stay low. Good, getting a little bit warmer already. Still staying up nice and tall for this one for now as well. Again, we'll have some options in a bit of changing up a few things in our seating. All right, we're gonna go back to the close arm swing. So our sprinter arms, and maybe you're gonna start to speed it up a little bit now. And you'll notice how hopefully your core muscles realize that they have to work just a little bit harder to keep you stable in this position. So if you find that it feels a bit unstable, maybe you're gonna slow down your move just a little bit. Good, and then you're gonna go to that long arm swing again. Noticing that when we're doing closer to the body moves, usually we can move a little bit faster, more controlled. The bigger moves, it's hard to move really fast. We can still obviously control the move. And then now maybe you're gonna start to hinge just a little bit. Make sure that doesn't bring your shoulders up. It's just you hinging at the hips just slightly, so extra core support needed here. Good, let's do just a few more. Coming back upright, coming back to our close arm swing and starting to slow it down. Awesome. We're going to move into some forward, you can call them little jab punches if you like. So we're punching close to a center target. And again, we'll take just a moment to do this. Well, I'll let you speed it up as you decide that you're ready for that, but maybe take a moment just to check in on posture before you pick up the pace. Awesome. And then, of course, our bigger move is more crossbody. I always forget the word I want to use. That's not an uppercut. Anyway, we're going to go for a bigger boxing move here. So you're going to come from the side to a center target that's now kind of facing towards each hand as it's coming in to hit that target. Good. Keep going here for a few. Again, check in, make sure those shoulders are staying low. Arms are moving with power here. We don't need our stress muscles or trapezius muscles to kind of creep those shoulders up by our ears. Let's go back to the close body punch, straight forward, little jabs, and maybe you start to speed it up now, just a little bit. Good. And let's go back to those wider moves. So starting at a wider position off to the hip, punching to that center target at maybe about chest level or slightly higher. Awesome. A few more like this. We're going to do it one more time through after that before we change things up again. Last two and one. Go back to your little quick jabs out front one more time. We won't be here too long. Good. And then as we start to get to more of our sweeping arms for this next one as well, maybe you'll start to rotate through your punch just a little bit. So maybe as you go to those big punches, you're also rotating from mid-spine using some core muscles, some obliques to help control that rotation and control the follow through of your punch. Yeah, just give me a few more like this. Last two. And one. Awesome. Shake out your hands. Again, if you're like me, when we do the punching exercises, I make the tightest, unnecessarily tight fist. Maybe you need a drink of water. Shake out your shoulders. We're going to keep going with a little bit more cardio. All right, I'll let you decide closed fists or open palms for the next one, whatever you prefer. I'm going to keep palms open for this one. We're going to keep it close and do an overhead press next. Overhead, we have a little bit more instability potentially, so it's a little harder to stabilize through our core. If you find you need to be at your chair back for this one, of course, that's just fine. Good. And then our wider move is a little bit like our seated jacks, but I'm going to make it a little bit more like, I guess, our lat pull downs than anything. So let's just do a couple more like this, and then we'll get to that bigger move. Last two and one. All right, arms are going to be out to the side instead. So we're going to do a wider upward press. Maybe I'll kind of sweep above your head, or maybe you'll still do just up to the ceiling. I'll let you decide which of those two feels like it's more comfortable for you. Even trickier to keep those shoulders set low so we don't get that tension forming between shoulder and ears. So try to keep that set. Last two and one. Good. Go back to your close press. Take a rest if you need to in between. And then when you're ready, go back to your wider move to the side, out to the side to start. And then either sweeping up overhead or pressing straight up to the ceiling instead. Good, last two. And one. I think that's enough overhead work for now. Shake it out. Let's go to long arm press. Just back behind you. You could just graze the side of your chair or the wheels of your chair. So whatever width is comfortable for you. And let's get some, like you're pushing the air back behind you. So this is a little bit like our cross-country ski move. If you would like to make it more like that and that feeling of kind of like holding poles and pushing yourself, propelling through the snow instead, that's another good visual for you. Either staying upright or if you do a little bit of forward hinge as you press back, that's great too. So engaging through those rectal abdominals, front core muscles. And our wider one here, actually, I just wanted to give your shoulders a rest really with this low move. Probably won't change the feel a whole lot, but you can go maybe more like, I don't have an example of what we would be doing to have this wider stance with our hands, but a bigger press back. So taking up more space. We're almost actually done our cardio sequence for today. I wanted to leave a little bit extra time to do a couple other things today. Good. So go back to that close move. So more like our cross country skier or open palm to press the air back behind you. And as we move to the wider move of the arms again for this one more time, I'll give you the option as well of doing single arm, so alternating sides and pushing back with some rotation. So if you would like to do both arms at the same time, wide, great. Single arm, maybe with rotation. As I said, rotation's always optional, so just kind of check in with your body and see how that feels for today. Let's just do 3 more. And 2 and 1. Awesome. All right, shake it out. As I said, that was maybe a few minutes less than we usually do of the heart rate raising exercise, but I would like to sneak a few other things in today. So um, now might be a good time to, if you have that pillow or rolled up blanket or towel or sweatshirt that you want to put on your lap, it's completely optional. It's going to be on our lap as a little bit of support for our forward hinge. If you need to be at your chair back for this, absolutely, that's not a problem. And then you likely won't need the pillow at your lap. But if you are comfortable in a bit of a hinge, but like that extra support, that's what the pillow is going to be great for in a moment. Before we actually use it though, we're gonna do that little setup for our lower body. And again, I realize that this might not be available to everyone, but I want to give a few little cueing as we can on this. So whether your feet are on the floor or on the foot pads of your chair, I'd like you to find the triangle points of your feet. So base of your big toe, base of your baby toe, and heel. And then from there, we're gonna get that even pressure. Again, if this is available to you, to just push your feet evenly down. Hopefully, just getting that little bit of feedback through the lower body, feeling really supported in this position so that when we do hinge forward, we have that good base of support from the bottom up. So triangle points of the feet, again, that's base of the big toe, base of the baby toe, and heel as evenly as we can on the floor or chair pads. Okay, so we're gonna do a little bit of rowing in just a moment. So we're gonna grab our weight just in a moment. In the meantime, we have this pillow here. So we're gonna do just one weight at a time where one hand can be on our lap for support. And we're gonna be in an optional hinge position. So the hinge is always optional. If you feel like you have better control when you're upright, absolutely stay in a more supported upright position here. So we're just playing around with, if we only have one hand for support, can I maintain that long spine? So maybe before you even start the hinge, we'll come back up tall, go belly button to backbone just a little bit, not enough to change your breathing. I want you to still breathe nice and even throughout and not hold your breath for this set. And then hinge down and see if I just have one hand of support, how comfortable am I here? If you feel like you need both hands to fully keep you in this position, you'll probably do the next exercise upright instead of hinged, okay? So let's get going with some weights now. You can grab your weight and we will get ready to go. So again, we've done a little bit of a test run as far as the hinge goes. I'm going to demo hinged, but know that the same exercise can be fully upright as well. I'll try to demo that occasionally as well. Okay, so we're going to go to our row and I'm going to keep with my theme of closer and wider moves. So we're going to hinge or stay upright. Shoulder is set. You can't see my hand right now, but weight is in hand. And we're going to pull to our hip or just wide of the arm of our chair, depending on what sort of chair you're in today. So shoulder blades squeezes to backbone, nice and close move. Good, we're gonna do 8. And I'm a terrible counter, but I think this is 6, 7, and 8. We're gonna stay on the same side and do one more. Come up tall, shake out that shoulder. Before we do the other one here, let's do a few butt squeezes. So if this is not available to you, butt squeeze and release glute muscles, you'll do belly button to backbone, press into the chair back and release instead. But otherwise, both sides, glute squeeze and release, squeeze and release. Maybe you find this works really well with the triangle points of your feet also pressing down. So feet press, glute squeeze, and release. 2 more like that. And 1. Awesome. All right. I can always tell when people are doing it. We just get that little bit taller in our chair, right? Every time we squeeze our butt. Okay, so we're gonna go to the wider move and do 8 of those as well. Again, hinging is optional. Shoulder is set. We're gonna imagine that somebody's pulling us by the elbow diagonally back. So still shoulder blade squeezes to center each time. Shoulder itself stays low. So wider move, bigger move. Good, 4 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, come up tall. Let's switch to that other side and do the same, knowing that at any point, if you would rather be in an upright position to protect your back than in the hinged position, if that is not feeling comfortable for you today, that's totally fine. All right, so let's do our close row to start with. Shoulder blade squeezes towards your backbone for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come up tall. Give that side a little bit of a rest. We'll do a few more butt squeezes while we're just resting that rowing arm. So squeeze and release. If you'd like to try just to see, you can see if you can squeeze just your right cheek and then just your left cheek. Or keep squeezing both evenly, that's okay. Last 2. And 1. Awesome. All right, setting up for that second row on this side. Again, hinging is optional. Imagining that someone's pulling you diagonally back by the elbow for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Come on up tall. We're gonna keep going with the weight. The pillow will come back into play again shortly. If it's in the way right now, though, you're welcome to set it down for now. I'm gonna trade back the weight to side number 1. And we're gonna go with just a little bit of basically what we were doing for our punching exercises during cardio. So we're gonna go shoulder set, weight is ready to do a forward punch to a target that is maybe arm length away or maybe not quite. So it depends on your shoulder, how this feels, pressing to a center target. Good, last 2 and 1. All right, bring that weight down just for a moment. Actually, maybe this is how we'll do it with a little interlude in between as well. So if you would like to try having the pillow between your knees now, we're actually going to set that up. So sorry, we'll do a little switcheroo here and we'll still use the weight, but this will give me a chance to sneak another exercise in here kind of in between. So The pillow is here just to provide a tiny bit of resistance so that we can get some inner thigh, our adductors, working here. So just that gentle squeeze and release, nice even pressure on the pillow. Again, if this is not available to you and the butt squeezes were something that was feeling like a valid exercise, you could go ahead and do some of those instead, or inner thigh squeeze, release. Let's do 4, 3, 2, and 1. If you're okay leaving the pillow there, go ahead and do that. We are going to get ready for our bigger move for chest. That's our chest press, starting wide, coming to either a center target, or right away, I'll let you go into a more reaching, slightly rotating target if you have lots of control over that weight and the end range is comfortable for you. So we're going to do 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Let's switch it up to the other side. Shoulder is set. Ready to do our close punch to a target that's right at center. Good. That's 5, 6, 7, and 8. Awesome. Taking that weight down just for a little rest in between and doing a few more of those squeezes if that was something that was working for you. So squeeze and release, or butt squeeze instead. Maybe you feel like you get a little bit more core work doing this too. Like you feel like belly button to backbone has to happen just a little bit to keep that support going through your torso. Let's do 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, we shouldn't need the pillow anymore. So if you would like to set it away now so it's out of your way, go ahead and do that. Of course, you're welcome to keep it there if that's feeling good for you. All right, and we're going to finish off with 8 of our sweeping punches, crossbody with maybe a little bit of rotation, lots of control regardless. So let's go for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Let's bring that weight down to our lap just for a moment. You can flip it so you're holding it end to end. Of course, if you're using something to help with grip, like the active hands, and you have one hand already wrapped into the weight, you can always do up and down instead of side to side. Let's do a little bit of a lift and lower here. So we're using our shoulder muscles, but I want you to also think of this as being a core exercise. For one, because the weight is changing in its location, so our body has to adjust for that. But also because we want to stay in that nice upright, strong position to support the weight here. So shoulders are set, weight is hovering just above our lap. And we're going to really slowly kind of raise it up like it's going up floors of an elevator up to about eye level. That's high enough. And then back down again. So shoulders are staying low. If you find that beyond chin level, your shoulders start to creep up, then don't go any higher than that. Let's go back up again. Now, if you, it's available to you to come away from your chair back, a little bit more challenging for the core here as well. So you're welcome to play around with that, just making sure that your low back is protected so core muscles are engaged here. Let's do it 2 more times. And last one. Good. You can keep your grip exactly the same on the weight for the next one. Shoulders are set. So this is not a quick move. I want this to be an oblique move, and it might be very small. So make sure it's lots of control here, that the weight isn't kind of bringing you farther into rotation than you would like to go. So let's go side through center with the weight just out front. And you can play around with how much rotation is comfortable for you. So we're not trying to push any limits here, of course, but how much is enough that you really have to use those oblique muscles to work to bring you back through center. We'll do just one more each direction. Awesome. And then we are done with that weight. I'm going to grab another quick drink of water and we're going to get ready to stretch. Okay, so let's do our rhomboid stretch first here. I'm going to set my shoulder low to start with and then reach that arm out to the side, sweeping it across for a hug. And then I'll let you decide whether it feels nicer to have that arm extended or to pat yourself on the back, crossbody instead. Take some nice big breaths in and out here. Maybe almost imagining that on your breath in, you give just a little bit more space to stretch between your shoulder blade and backbone there. Good. And then you'll ease that arm off to the side. We're going to go big off to the side for a bit of a shoulder and chest stretch and back through center. Let's do that again. You might even follow through with a little bit of rotation there. Last one. All right, and then let's do the same on the other side. So shoulder is set back and down to start. Arm comes sweeping cross body. Give it a bit of a hug. Decide which you like better, hand extended or elbow bent and hand at your shoulder. And again, some nice big breaths in and out, imagining that you can just give a little bit of extra space for that muscle to stretch. Awesome. You can unwind that arm, bring it off to the side. Nice big side stretch back through center for chest and front shoulder. Maybe adding in a little bit of rotation for the last two. And one. Awesome. And then we're going to go to my favorite stretch. I know we do it every time. Hands on your hips or in your back pockets. Maybe slightly forward on your chair if that's available, as you press your hands into your hips and then actively pull your elbows back. Thinking about lengthening through your spine and maybe bring yourself slightly chest forward. So maybe your gaze looks slightly up towards the ceiling as well. But that's not because we're pressing our belly forward, curving through our low back. It's just giving that extra length with the stretch. All right, you can ease your way out of that one. You will either come back to that same stretch if you prefer, or maybe you're going to slide yourself back on your chair instead and do our more upright positioning for that same stretch. So hands are gently on your head or back of the neck to open up this way. Again, maybe looking slightly up, but I'm not putting pressure on my head to get it there. We're just getting that extra bit of opening through our chest. Let's take a breath in and out here. Good. Ease your way out of that one. Let's take our hands and either interlace them or one hand over top of the other, whichever is more comfortable for you. Give me a little bit of a wrist roll, wrist release to start. And back the other way. Good. And then you're going to set your shoulders, either open up your hands or one hand over top of the other to press forward, letting those shoulder blades come away from each other and bring it in. Maybe you're thinking about blowing your hands away. So exhale and then breathing them in towards you. And then if you don't need your hands to support on your knees for a forward hinge, you can give a little bit more of a forward reach, adding another breath if you need it there. Good, let's do one more there. Awesome. You can just take your hands to your lap. One last thing, let's just stretch out through our neck just a little bit. So give me just a gentle tip towards one ear. Again, take a couple of breaths in and out here, maybe imagining that you can get that, give that muscle a little bit of extra oxygen to release and get some stretch out. And then back through center, tipping gently to the other side. And come on back through center. Good. One thing I've been doing with my classes for more so in the last week is a quick little exercise that kind of gives us a good reminder of our peripheral vision and all the things it does to kind of fill in the blanks as we're moving about as to what's around us. So this is a good reminder for yourself every once in a while to, look beyond what's just ahead of us and to look up a little bit more. Of course, that keeps us in good posture as well. There's situations, obviously, where we need to be looking down directly at what's in front of us, but when possible, to stay nice and upright, I'm going to have you look at something that's probably past your computer screen on the wall ahead of you. So we're not going to change, we're not going to move at all for this one. You're going to be looking straight at that point. You're going to notice your posture first. So even in your chair, core muscles engaged, shoulders are back and down, and your head is stacked over top of your neck. So we're keeping in that nice long position. And then as you're staring at whatever thing you picked that's out front of you, you're going to start to notice what's on your left side and on your right side. So maybe you'll just see a little bit of color, or maybe you'll notice actual objects that are off to the side that you can see without looking at them, right? So you're gonna keep staring at that forward facing target. And then from there, you might notice the ceiling and the floor, whatever is above and below you. But again, you're not looking directly at it. You're looking at that forward target and using your peripheral vision to see all the extra information that's around you. So this is a good, just little reminder for our brain that we see a lot more than what's directly in front of our eyes. We can see off to the sides, top and bottom as well. So there you go. You can practice that one as you will. With that being said, we will finish off class with our body on our chair back and maybe our eyes to close just for a moment. We started class with a little bit of a body scan, so I like to make sure we end class the same way. So you could check in on your breathing first, nice even breaths in and out. And then maybe from there, you'll start to do your body scan. And whatever you noticed at the beginning of class, just check in again now. Or if there's anything different that's cropped up as we have gone through class that you make note of now. Maybe that's something you need to maybe change up how you move for next time. Or maybe you have a question for me. Or just something to, maybe you had a sore muscle that now feels a lot better because you've been moving. So lots of things to notice. We'll just take 2 more nice even breaths in and out like that with eyes closed. Awesome. And then you can bring your eyes to open, and we'll finish off as we always do, starting down low, big breath in, sweeping hands towards the ceiling for 3, 2, and last one. Awesome. Thanks for joining me today, everyone. If you have any questions or just want to chat for a moment, I am here. Oh, we had lots of people today. I didn't even get to see all the people on the